So I made a template, and to make this template, I took a piece of cardboard, and if you have like a Cricut machine or something, that's actually perfect. Because what I did is I took a square that's 5.5 by 5.5, and I centered it, and then I took a second square, rotated it 45 degrees, and centered the two of them, and then cut that shape out. And it gives you this nice template that will hold your 5.5 by 5.5 piece of paper. So I made this little template, and I actually have them in 5 by 5 and 4.5 by 4.5 and 4 by 4. And so you can make them in, or 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, 5.5 by 5.5. You could make one 6 by 6 or whatever size you wanted, but it's made exactly the same way. Super easy. It works great for these rotating stamps. It also works for another way that I'm going to show you how to do this. So anyway, and you can use these not only with the rotating stamps, but with any stamp to create a wreath. So let me pick a stamp. Let's see. There's one. We'll just use this little rose stamp from there. Okay. I haven't tried this with this stamp on this size, so this is why they call it playing. I'm going to go back to my brown. Yeah, I'll just use the brown water or alcohol proof. And again, we're going to leave that stamp in that place. So we're just going to stamp that. Except this time, I'm going to shift it not 90 degrees, I'm going to shift it 45 degrees. Okay. My paper in there. And we just shift 45 again and just keep going. So it was there. So here, you just have to keep track of where you were. But you can always kind of close it and see if it's going to line up. Wow, I planned that pretty well, didn't I? You never know that I was just winging that. And that looks pretty good. And there's your wreath. Now, if you wanted to add to it, you can now take another flower. Let's say I want to put a flower in the middle, and I want to, and just kind of line it up on this one. And now let's stamp all the way around with that one. And this will just fill out that wreath a little bit, make it a little bit thicker. It is time consuming, but the results are worth it. And let's face it, this is super easy to do. All you need is a piece of cardboard. If you don't have a cutting machine, if you have a Cricut, super easy to make this template. If you don't have a Cricut or a Silhouette or some sort of an electronic cutting machine, you can do it with dies or with a ruler and a craft knife, it's just a little bit harder because you have to make sure that you get these exactly in the center. Both squares have to be perfectly aligned for it to work. If you don't get them perfectly aligned, it won't work. And there you go. Doesn't that look great? And now if you wanted to add more to it, you could, but I'm going to leave it just like that because I love that. Perfect wreath from just a single stamp, just by creating a template with a piece of cardboard. Now, let me show you. Now that's the cheap way to do it. Now, if you want there is a tool for this, and We Are Memory Keepers makes a rotating stamp platform. And this is basically designed to do exactly what I was doing. And that's how I'm going to use my little cupcake. And I'm going to get this paper. Let's see how big this is. 6 by 6. So this is a little stamping platform. It's got spring-loaded feet. And essentially, the way this works is this is a magnet. So you just slide it off. You line this up so that corner is aligned with the 6-inch because it's 6 by 6. It only works with square paper, and you can have square paper anywhere from 4 by 4 up to 12 by 12, and this will work. But get it 6 by 6. Get it lined up, and then set that down. And they're really strong magnets. It'll grab. Then we're going to put our. I was going to use a cupcake. Maybe I'll. Yeah, I think I'm going to use a cupcake. So we're going to get that lined up pretty close because I want it needs to be able to fit here. So, in fact, let's spin that around so I can get it lined up. That'll be the first one I stamp. And we're going to get it lined up on there. So as you see, 6 by 6, and then this knob just turns, and that allows you to ink up your stamp and stamp in exactly the right spot every time. And that magnet's super strong, and it will hold everything. I'm going to use a Flagstone alcohol proof ink. Again, I'm going to use an alcohol proof ink because I'm going to color it. And this is the same concept as the Crafter's Companion stamping platform. So let's just ink that up. I don't think I've ever used this stamp before, so hopefully it will work and not give me too many. But see, if you didn't get a perfect impression, just like the Crafter's Companion stamping platform, because you haven't moved your paper, you just ink it and do it again. And it just falls right into place once you get those on there. And then press straight down. Okay. And then you rotate it. And I'm going to rotate it 3 times because that'll give me a nice space in there. And then to get that magnet off, the easiest way is to kind of slide it because it's pretty strong. That's the We Are Memory Keepers rotating stamp platform, I think is what it's called. And it gives you perfect wreath with any stamp. So that's the, if you want to spend money on a tool. Here's the cheater way if you don't want to spend money on a tool and you just want to use cardboard. They all make perfect wreaths. Now I'm going to color these in and make some cards, and I'll show you when I'm done. I'll be back with you in a few minutes. Okay, so I've taken all those stamped wreaths and made cards out of them. All I did was ink around the edges, put some sentiments in, and put them on a card base. You could add some gems or a ribbon here and there, but pretty simple, pretty fast, and beautiful cards. And just to remind you, this was the rotating stamp. This was the stamp that's already a wreath. The stamp itself is a wreath. This one I used the template, the little rectangular template that I had. And this is the one that I used the We Are Memory Keepers rotating stamp tool for. So have fun with that. Enjoy.